Hello everyone, welcome back. Today this reading seems to be focusing on someone who they call it, some of the ways they call it is like puddle jumping or monkey branching when it comes to relationships. Usually there's an individual who they just, once they get out of one relationship, they'll jump straight to another relationship. And like, it's a fear-driven pattern. The reason people like this do this, certain people have the fear of being alone. They need the validation from that relationship, or one of the reasons too is that they refuse to process any emotional pain, and it's their way of avoidance. It's their way of it's I guess in the psychological term, you could say it's like an avoidant attachment style. Some people call it rebound effect, but I think the person that I'm picking up on, it's more than that. And if you're here with this reading and you know yourself as a person who keeps jumping from a relationship to relationship, maybe just stop and listen. It can be addictive. It can be a form of an addiction, really. You're pretty much relying on your partner to give you your self-worth. And this kind of behavior, this kind of addiction, it can actually lead you to very abusive relationships. And I'm sensing that, I've picked up some cards and I'm seeing that there is, you're in the middle of an abusive relationship and that you are trying to figure out how to leave this person. So I'm going to try to say this as delicately as possible, but I'm a person who grew up with a mother like this. My mother she was married quite a few times, and she jumped from man to man constantly when we were children. And then even in our adulthood, she still did it, and she still ignored a lot of her kids to please these men in these relationships. And part of it was money, but it's I got this reading a few days ago, but I've just been having to do some research and really work it out because I don't want to. It's a delicate subject, of course, and I don't want to hurt. I want to help. So I can see that, you went through, before this relationship that you're in, this abusive relationship, you went through a time of healing. You actually did try to put in that work. But you felt this lack of, you were like, something's missing. Even though you were trying to put in the work, and you did do some soul purging, deep soul purging, you were like, my life path, and you felt like it was centered around somebody else, You had a lot of lost dreams and self-sabotage situations that you were healing from when you met this person. You thought you were doing good, you thought you were in a good place, and I can see that there's some type of like physical, verbal, mental, spiritual abuse. Yeah, there you go. Confirmation. This thing always falls down. I drew quite a few cards. Let me just I drew a lot of cards and some of them just fell out of nowhere. They just flipped over, which doesn't happen to me a lot. The way I draw cards doesn't work like that. But you can see here you've got crying over situationships, emotional investment rejection, thought it was a vibe, red flags, fantasy, false hope, blocked AF, cut off, disbelief, avoidance, toxic but familiar, pattern, attachment, comfort, and pain. Okay. We'll get to the cards above in a minute, though. We've got this one, which shows me that you were working on yourself in the past and you were trying to heal and do that soul purging. And then we've got this one, and that was you healing from your lost dreams and self-sabotages. And this, let me find the right card. This shows me that you're in the middle of an abusive relationship. A lot of these cards that flipped over, they kind of give details to the abuse. Let me get off my... let's see. I think this is saying, like, in the relationship you're in right now, like, some doors are gonna close. And Spirit knows how bad you wanted this relationship to work out this time. And you've been trying to, like, push on with your will. And you've realized that, like, it's not gonna happen the way you wanted. It's just too hard of a situation. It's too bad of a situation that you're in. And you've got to do something. So Spirit is acknowledging that. And then you've got, let's take a look at this one. And this message right here is just to, this card is like, yeah, your gut feeling is correct. What you're feeling, what you're knowing to be true, yes. And I know you're planning on leaving. I know you're planning on leaving this person. And you're trying to figure out a way. And you're like, am I doing the right thing? Yes, you are. You are doing the right thing. And I understand how dangerous that can be. Spirit understands how dangerous that can be. I know there's a card here that I pulled. I'm sorry. There's a lot of cards that came out. And like I said, it doesn't happen like that for me. But they just all came out. So let me get into what they are and what they mean. It looks like you're like stressing out about the financial side of things. It says, when we're broken down, we become more humble. Here's that card. Forcing us to stop and regroup. We go through different types of struggles so we can learn to see things from a new perspective, which challenges us to reach a new direction. Never give up, because there are always other options. It may not be exactly what you thought you would be doing at this particular time in your life, but open yourself up to all new ideas. Just realize you are going through a refinement period. Stay positive and look for new possibilities. It's going to take a little effort on your part, but it will be worth it. Even in tough times, there's always something to be thankful for. What you appreciate appreciates. So I think it's just pretty much saying, like, don't worry about the financial. God will provide. He will provide. There were times when my mom would be in, there was a very abusive man that she got married to. And we actually had a previous stepdad come. And while he was at work, just move us out. He just hired some homeless people, and they packed up all our stuff in a truck, and we left. And we stayed with him at his place for a couple months until my mom could get on her feet again. You know, there's always some way. Where there's a will, there's a way, and you will figure it out. There's many programs for domestic violence situations. Where you're at, you can always look it up. Let me get you. There's a resource center, and there's a hotline. The number is going to be 800-799-7233. Once again, 800-799-7233. There's a website. It's called the National Domestic Violence, website, and they have resource centers everywhere, women resource centers. It goes over the different types of domestic violence, domestic abuse, and there's churches that'll help as well. We had certain times the help of churches growing up. Not saying every church will, though. We know that. But there is resources. So please do not give up. And don't let the financial side of things make you give up. Because if this is a truly abusive situation, you have to get out. Let me see. There's more cards. There was a lot of cards. Let's see. So this card, it seems like there's a lot of lying in this relationship. That's what I'm getting from this card. There's a lot of lies. There's a lot of betrayal. And it seems like you've covered it up for a while. You've tried to just cover it up. It looks like this is just... And this is just saying untangle yourself from this web. So it's more confirmation about what you're going through. Let's see. There's more. There's more. There is more. I do think this card is important, so I'm going to read it out loud. This one. Okay, when you meet someone you're attracted to, be careful not to become a slave to your impulses. Being near someone you've just met is exciting, but are your desires influencing your ability to think clearly? You could be experiencing a dopamine high, quite literally, because when your brain is stimulated this way, it will influence your decisions more than you would likely admit. Especially if you haven't been, active for some time. Your desires may be heightened. Take a step back and question your intentions. Do not take their words of affirmation at face value. Be sure that they are backed up by sincere actions. Choosing a potential partner is not always easy because nothing is guaranteed. You are still taking a gamble on life and love, regardless of any decision you make. Unfortunately, some choices don't always have a favorable outcome. Sometimes someone feels so right until they feel so wrong. If this is your situation, then next time slow down a bit when considering your options. Time will not corrupt the truth, but it can expose corruption. And then, let's see, we have another card here. Let me get to it. When I drew this card, I was like, somebody has some kind of addiction online, whether it be a PORN addiction, or like this person goes online and they pick up people that way. That's what I got from that card. And we've got another one. Closing doors is not easy. It's this card. Some things are just too painful, so we get stuck in a type of holding pattern. We want to move forward, but in what direction? Standing there and able to make a decision leaves us exposed to the storms of this world. Elements consisting of pain, anxiety, or confusion are taking over your space of being. How do you protect yourself and close off all that negative feelings intruding your life? First, you need to open the door of truth before you can get your closure. The words depression or suicide are significant with this calling of a card. It's heart-wrenching because the survivors feel like they missed the signs or could have done something more to help. They could have feelings of guilt, shame, or rejection. Mental health is essential for our well-being, and cognitive dysfunction is not always adequately recognized. Perhaps there is someone who is now experiencing a depressed state of mind or suicidal thoughts. I'm pretty sure this is you. I'm pretty sure that the way things have gone in this relationship and the way things have gone from the past, and I'm pretty sure that you are feeling this way. I just want you to know that, like, there is help and you can reach out. There's online people who have gone through what you have gone through. Somebody on Facebook, there is a lady on Facebook, let me go look her up. And she actually escaped a domestic violence situation. Very, very bad domestic violence situation. And she got a restraining order, and her in-laws are cops. And they actually, like, kind of went after her in a lot of ways. And so let me see if I can find her, and I will put it in the description below the video. If you are a person, yeah, I'm trying to find her right now, but I think it's gonna take a minute. But I will put her in the description of this video. Oh, she's called Toninova, which is TONINOVVVA. And I will, like I said, I will put it though in the description. She's on Facebook. Look her up. She has a lot of resources. She's she'll actually, if you message her, she will answer back to you and try to help you So please go to her. She is an amazing human, and she's been through a lot, and she knows how to navigate it. She's still figuring it out herself, but she's been where you've been. Okay, so now we've got all these cards up here came out in reverse. And that is from my Enchanted Map Oracle deck. And it seems like this one, it talks about like the addiction to relationships. If you fear change, be willing to change. Surrender your wants to a higher power. Ask for truth and allow humility to be your guiding force from within. You will always get what you need. You are only a victim of your perceptions. Take heart because you can't sink any further. Oh dear Lord. The only way to go from here is up, and wondrous things await you. So when I did start this reading, I got the impression that this reading was one of hope. This reading is not to further depress or further make you feel like you're a failure or further make you feel like you can't move forward. You can move forward. This is a reading of hope. This picture that I painted to go with the reading is a picture of hope. Look at all that. Look at what your future holds. Look at the little gold trails. Those are all the wishes, these petals going everywhere. These are all your wishes and all your dreams, and you can see that these are your guardian angels, and they're guiding you on this trail, and they're saying it is going to be okay. This is a message of hope. When I painted this picture, I did not realize it would be for such a hard situation. But to me, when I painted it, I knew this was somebody's inner place. They're wishing well. This is your wishing well. This is what it looks like. And it's beautiful. Your dreams, your hopes, they're beautiful. You just need to allow that beauty to come out. You will get there. You will. I do think, let's move on to this next card, because it talks about like kind of how you're gonna get there. You're meant to learn how to be a strong swimmer now. Don't worry, preparation ensures a successful result. However, you must wait patiently for the right moment to come. Now is the time for conscious preparation and skill building. So now's the time to plan your moves. Plan how you're going to get out of there. Plan how things are going to move forward. Like I said, I lived this as a child many times over. My mom just always fell into abusive relationships, and you know, so if my mom could do it so many times over, you're gonna be able to do this. You're gonna be able to do this. Then this last card over here, let's get to it. Desire is the sacred impulse for life. Feel it, but let go of all attachment to ownership. And it just says, this is not the time to force anything to happen in your life, especially whatever seems to be eluding you. You can't demand that the universe provides you with what you want. Step back, breathe, and take your attention away from what you want. Ask instead what you need. Only the unseen knows how to align desire, inspiration, and its manifest form. As the coin disappears into the mystery of the dark pool at the bottom of the well, have faith. Don't engage in wishful thinking. You must co-create with spirit, not make demands. You may yet get what you want. Never forget that life is filled with choices. Make a wish, but be open to the enchanted way in which spirit fulfills your desire. So like I said, this is a message of hope. You're going to get out. You just have to plan strategically and accordingly. And when you do get out, it's going to be a lot of rebuilding. It's going to be a lot of healing. And I'm just going to urge you now that before you do step into another relationship, there's a lot of books that you can get. But I just want you to remember this. The next time you are, if you ever, I mean, I know sometimes we're like, I'm done. That was it. But if you do end up meeting somebody, you have to ask yourself within the first 3 meetings, does this person make me feel safe? And you have to journal. You have to go over why they would make you feel safe. What are the reasons they make you feel safe? And are those reasons enough? Are they going to be reasons that are going to withstand the test of time? Like, if you do not feel safe, to me, I know a lot of experts say it's within the first 3 dates. But to me, it's the first time I meet you. Like, to me, you can spot so many red flags. And you have to understand that abusers can sense the vulnerability in you. They can see those patterns in you just like you should be able to see those patterns in them. So start educating yourself on what those patterns are, what those red flags are. And like I said, start asking yourself when you're around people, does this person make me feel safe? Does this person make me feel safe? Just keep asking it when you get around new people. Does this person make me feel safe? Like I said, journal it. Ask why. If it's yes, why? What are the reasons? If it's no, why? What are the reasons? I think that's the best thing you can ever do for yourself in life. Do I feel safe? Does this situation make me feel safe? Does this job make me feel safe? It can help you in so many ways when you approach life that way. I'm going to stop it here. I hope that somehow I helped and did not hurt. As a child who grew up in situations like this, it was kind of hard for me to come up with the right words, honestly, because having lived it, I know just how hard it can be. And I'm praying that you get out of it. And if you do have kids, I'm praying that they get out of it and they heal from it as well. And I hope you all heal. Just, if you have hard times, go back to this video and look at this picture, because that is your wishing well. That is your hope. That is everything that waits for you on the other side. I say these things in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.